Yo, 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 what is up, y'all? To our next retrospective. Um, Sorry we kept pushing this back. Bro, I can't hear you. Mom. You just made me fucking jump. Yes, I can hear you.
I apologize for that. I forgot to change my mic settings because after I just called the Sixers game, I just had to plug my gaming headset, so I had to do all this shit. But
So,
like we said, we apologize that we pushed this back. As you can tell by the background, we this is going to be a very interesting WrestleMania. I'll say, to say the least, because
yeah, and I was looking at it too, and this was slated to be one of the worst WrestleManias from fans because a lot of the feedback in 2000 wasn't good.
yeah, that's very true. Um, so I mean, I do have the card pulled up on my phone. So the very first match we started was Big Boss Man and Bull Buchanan versus D'Lo Brown and the Godfather with Ice T to start the tag team match off. And
Yeah, Ice
obviously,
T Ice T was only there to do the entrance of Godfather. That was all he was there for.
yeah,
He didn't have any uh relevance to the match.
not
But
really.
but the match itself was a solid opener, in my opinion.
Obviously, it looks like so Bull Buchanan and Big Boss Man do pick up the victory.
Yep.
Um, honestly, I thought that was a pretty solid tag match.
hmm And
I
then
mean,
immediately, and then yeah, man, it was a very solid tag match. Both teams worked very well together.
just like
Um, it's a shame. I don't think either team won the tag team titles. I
which
don't think,
is I don't think so.
which is a shame because both teams deserved it. But next up, I'm warning you guys now. There are some kids
Yeah.
that need to go to bed before you guys watch that event. Because there was a segment that came up right after this one.
Yeah, and honestly, I thought that was a good match in itself. It's the hardcore battle royal for the hardcore, probably the hardcore championship, probably one of my favorite championships of that
The,
era.
the gripe that I have with this match is what they called it.
A hardcore battle.
They called it a battle royal. A battle royal is where
It's
you eliminate the guy, throw him over the
over the
top
top
rope.
rope. Yeah, like it's so redundant.
This was not a battle royal. This was a championship scramble.
Yeah, that
That's what it
makes with
was.
it's like a
That was a
championship.
champion. That was a championship scramble. And then you think, oh, 2008 when they had it at
Uh,
when they had that championship scramble, that was the first. No, it wasn't. A
no,
hardcore
this was
title
like
at WrestleMania 2000 was the first.
well, it was like a championship scramble mixed with a like a free for all street fight. That's my buddy Nightings.
I know. But it ended in a wonky finish too.
Yeah. Oh god, that was my biggest gripe is how it finished. It's like, come on
Like
now.
you had logic was thrown out the window because the ref was right in front of frickin' hardcore Holly when he was making the pin.
Yeah, and then you can
How
see
the
like
hell do you not see Crash Holly kick out?
I don't know, man.
I think that right there kind of.
All I know is, but man, I'll be honest though. I mean, just like you, I mean, there was like a lot of things you could probably your magic can go run wild. I mean, there was like cookie sheets were used, a trash can. I mean, the whole 9 yards of it.
Yeah.
And if you disclaimer, there is going to be a lot of bloodshed, like literally.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Ooh,
there's puddles of blood that gets
yeah,
shed, but the problem the thing is, I feel like the bloodshed is a lot tamer than what happened before the match.
yeah.
I'm mentioning it again. If you got kids, do not watch it with them. But yeah, the match ended wonky. I didn't really care for the match. because of that. It took me out. I'm like, that made no sense.
Yeah, it was just ridiculous. And like my buddy Tyler said, this is where we get to the next one. We did kind of talk about talk this off screen. We got Test and Albert with Trish Stratus in a tag match. Well, with against else.
And I want to talk about another thing.
Mm.
They had a backstage segment where they were walking to the ring. Guess where the fucking camera was when they first started the thing?
Oh right, yep, I know.
I'm like, what the fuck?
I was like, oh no. Like
I'm like, they really went balls to the walls, edgy back in the day. And I'm like, yeah, nah. But the match itself, highly forgettable. Highly forgettable. I really did not like. I didn't really.
That
like
was just a bad one.
It was a joke. They had the whole cheese thing and cheese guy slapping his ass and
like Chester
shit.
What the hell is this?
Chester McCheeser, whatever the fuck his name
what
was.
The hell?
I'm like,
why?
What the hell is this shit?
I was like, this is something like the fucking WWE could have pulled now.
Except for the slapping his own ass thing.
That's true.
But other than that, they could have done that shit today, to be hated.
Yeah, that's true.
Like that, no. And then we go to a match.
I thought that was probably the best match in my honest opinion.
Best match of the goddamn card. It was Edge and Christian versus the Hardys versus the Dudleys in the Triangle Ladder match for the tag team titles.
Oh, but good Lord, man. I'll be honest, man. Like,
I can see why people love the match for years, and it's been talked about for years. For like 20, 21 years.
Yeah. Oh, God. Got it.
Yeah. It's that fucking great. They've been talking about the match for 21 years.
And think about it this way. I mean, even throughout the match, the Dudleys brought out the tables, and you got ladders. There was some, I think basically you could almost had a TLC match within the 3 triangle ladder match at the same time.
I think this is how they were building for that first TLC match. It was this match first, and then SummerSlam that year was the first TLC match. So they were building towards that at that point.
Honestly, man, it makes my body hurt just seeing the kind of bumps that they take. It's like, what? Man, I would.
The one table spot.
Oh.
Holy shit!
I think no. For me, it was the Jeff Hardy spot. Off the top.
But that was normal. That's normal.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the spot where I think it was like Edge was on top of the ladder.
Oh, with the double stack tables.
Double stack tables, and then
like,
he just pushes. I think he pushed Jeff, and he just pushed him, and he went right through 2 tables. I'm like,
good Lord.
Yeah, it was really, really intense, really awesome. But
yeah. Then obviously my buddy Tyler said this is the one part that you might want to put your kids to bed for this one.
This came after this match?
Yeah, the cat fight.
No, here's the thing. It wasn't the cat fight. It was the build up to the cat fight in a backstage segment. Let me explain the segment to you. We cut to a fucking room where Kat's sitting.
Oh yeah, I was like,
she is not wearing jack shit.
Like literally,
she's completely fucking naked.
And she had what was the was it? It had to be No. That
was May. I think it was May Young.
The late May Young.
She literally was holding different things. Like they had like a cat symbol, and it was right where her, what was supposed to be. Like it was like, yeah, that no kid should watch that shit.
And not to mention too, like Tyler, my buddy here said, that segment was explicit in itself, plus throwing some subtle dirty jokes in there, or the dirty references. Like, come on.
That's the thing, Rob. You say it's subtle. There was nothing fucking subtle about that shit.
I mean, this is oh
Like,
good.
I mean, if you're a kid, yeah, you won't get it. But when you're an
What
adult, you
and you
get that
see
shit
that almost
immediately.
20 over 20 years later, it's like, oh shit.
You're like, oh, goddamn, what the fuck?
But and
And
I
and,
and like
and I'm gonna say this, and I said this to you off stream.
yeah, oh yeah, off screen, yeah.
Our era, well, my era at least, was not as
Adam,
edgy
as it
as
was.
that shit.
No, man, like the attitude era was the edgy era
Like
of
that shit was like up here with edge.
yeah. Yeah, I mean,
It was like borderline porn, pretty
pretty
much.
much basically. But yeah, like you said, that also leads up to the well, technically, I don't know if you can call this a match, a cat fight between Terry and the cat.
No, it
And
was a joke. It was a joke.
yeah,
I looked at like the highlight after the match. It ended with Mae Young hitting X Pac's moves,
it just made me
and it
shake
was
my
like
head.
there was no finish. It was just her hitting X Pac's freaking crotch jump
The Bronco Buster.
corner, the Bronco Buster thing.
Um,
Literally only hit that, and the thing was over. And like it was probably like 15 seconds.
something like that. Yeah.
Like no, that wasn't nothing. So I completely skipped it because I knew it was gonna be shitty. It was gonna be the drizzling shit, and I was like, I'm skipping this.
Yeah. Then we go to their next tag team match. It's Too Cool and China versus the Radicals.
I wouldn't say versus the Radicals because the Radicals at that point were broken up. At that point.
Well,
oh no, they just kicked out Benoit at that time.
Yeah, because
Benoit turned face and they turned on him.
Yeah,
this story was like the failed relationship of China and Eddie,
and kind of basically, you know, if he lived through the Attitude Era, you kind of know that little storyline between her and Eddie.
The thing is, it was so bad, but it was good because you kind of felt for both parties.
Yeah, that's yeah. You know what? That is very true.
And then they made you completely fucking hate Eddie.
I mean, that's absolutely true. But and then obviously we still got Too Cool, the great Scotty Tuhati, and the late Brian Christopher. Obviously they wound up picking up the win over the Radicals.
And I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this, and I've said this countless times on the podcast, and I've said it countless times. I think this is my first China match that I've seen.
Yeah,
and and that made me rest my case completely. She deserved it. If she was in the freaking women's division today,
she'd still kill
that shit. She'd kill that shit.
But like it's just like she was like, and we could put it in terms like she was revolutionary for her time.
Very at the time. Revolutionary, bro.
Like the fact that she made history to be the very first female Intercontinental Champion at the time, you know, not afraid to fight men. Well, this is at the time, you know, where
she was whipping guys' ass left and fucking right.
I was like, good Lord,
nobody's fucking business. It was like shit. She was like how Tessa Blanchard was booked in Impact before she got fired.
Yeah, and then, but yeah. Then, obviously, going to the next match, we got the Intercontinental and the European Championship triple threat match between Benoit, Jericho, and Kurt Angle.
People may have hated the match, and I could see why. Because I could see people's takes thinking that this match was a mess because they had the 2 fall thing, and 1 fall was for 1 title. The second fall, I kind of like that.
It was concept. A head scratcher, but that's like, yeah.
I kind of like that concept because it presented a challenge for all 3 guys.
Yeah, instead of just like a triple threat,
you could have one guy lose the title, the next guy
win a different one at the same
one, and then you have the champion who had both lose both, which actually that's what happened.
And then that's because at one point, when it's like 2 or 3 falls for if you lose one fall or win one fall, you get the title. It's like for me that was a head scratcher, but it's like, huh, that's interesting. It was a very interesting concept to really, despite being a head scratcher, the way that it was.
And I was listening to the rules that the Fink was explaining before the
The,
match. And I'm like, now honestly, people might think back then it didn't make sense, but to me, it made total sense.
yeah, because I think at the time, I mean, they had a lot of titles back in the day too.
They had the IC title, they had the
The
European
European,
title.
you had the light heavyweight championship, the hardcore title, the tag team titles.
Yep.
And
They then
this,
then after I think after 2001 they got more titles. They had the WCW title and it was like
oh, that's right. That's when they
WCW tag.
bring the big, probably the most simplest belt design of all time.
Yeah, they brought all the WCW titles over and they killed them off and then they brought back the big gold belt, renamed it, and then yeah.
And then I think that that's also at the same time they also introduced their version of the United States title at that time too.
No,
No,
no.
that was a little bit later. Oh,
That was
that's right.
03. That was 03.
Yeah, that was a couple years
That
later.
was like summer of 03.
Okay, that makes sense. But obviously, and then we go to the next match on the card. We had Kane and Rikishi versus Road Dogg and X Pac.
You know what? This match was fun. Very
Yeah,
fun match. And
I would never.
I didn't think that Kane and Rikishi would mesh
I was
together
going to say
well.
the exact same too. It's like
Like you
what?
have a guy who likes to dance and shove his ass up people's faces. Then you have
Yeah,
another guy who summons fire.
pretty much. I mean,
How
that
does
was
that?
strange.
How do those two mesh up?
And then
They don't, but
like
somehow they made it work.
apparently, I mean, and then we still got Road Dogg and X Pac, and we all know the story. You know, obviously the degeneration, DX ties, and all this stuff. Obviously,
But
Kane and
then
Rikishi.
after, then Kane and Rikishi would win. But then after, we get the classic dance.
Oh my, yeah,
That never gets fucking old, too.
no, because it's something that we all because like some of like and you know that even in the Attitude Era, that's what we could I didn't and I'll hold my hand up to it. I actually imitated that myself too as a kid.
Who didn't? Who freaking
I
didn't do the steps? If you didn't do the steps, that
then
Rikishi,
you're missing.
you ain't a fan. You're not a fan if you don't do that.
I actually enjoyed watching Too Cool because like yeah, I mean they had I mean honestly for me I mean Rikishi because it's like there were some other great segments afterwards like in the later years with him. So well, we'll get to more of that, later down the line. But other than that, we get to the main event. It's like it was obviously heavily promoted on the promotion pamphlets at the time. Was the Fatal 4-Way Elimination WWE Championship match.
McMahon in every corner. You had The Rock having Vince
In his corner. Yeah,
Triple H having his wife, obviously. McFoley having Linda McMahon, and then you had Big Show having Shane. And the match just got progressively more and more crazy as it went along.
Yeah, it was just like
in the beginning it was standard. Big Show got eliminated. Then Mick Foley gets eliminated. He goes to leave the ring. He waves goodbye because the story is it's his last match.
Yeah, they were basically writing him on TV.
They're basically writing him off TV for a while. He goes to leave. He waves goodbye to the fans. He stops dead in his tracks. Grabs a barbed wire board.
I was like, oh, good Lord.
Runs back into the ring, wails Triple H with it. And then next thing you know, The Rock goes to hit a move or something. Then Vince and fucking Shane go at it.
I was like, what the hell am I?
Going on? I was focused on them for a while.
Because
what the hell is going on in the ring at this point?
That's very true.
At that point, I was assuming that they were just standing the fuck around until the cameras went back on them. Which probably happened. But they were going at it. So Vince goes in the back because he's bleeding. Shane busted his ass open. Next thing you know, Shane tries to fuck over the match with a steel chair. That doesn't work. Next thing you know, we see Vince storming the goddamn ring,
I was like,
still
what? It's
busted the
like,
fuck open.
I'm sorry, please, it's like, please don't tear it.
Beats the shit out of fucking Shane again.
Dude,
And
I'll
then,
be honest.
or no, he goes to like confront Shane. He was yelling at Shane, and he's yelling at I think Rock, I think, or Triple H, wherever. He turns on the Rock.
Oh, good Lord.
He gives Triple H the win. He hugs his daughter, hugs Triple H. Next thing you know, Shane gets a ring. He hugs him. I'm like, didn't you just attack him like 5 minutes ago?
I was like, what the fuck was just going on? Like, it was
balls
like,
and walls crazy by the end. I'm like,
but it was entertaining to watch, though.
It was entertaining as hell. But it was crazy, and there was
like
a lot of.
This was still at the time. The Rock was what? And this was. Oh wait, when did he fucking turn heel? The Rock. Oh my god, I can't even remember now.
The Rock turned heel. The Rock turned heel at WrestleMania the next year.
Okay, so that's okay. That makes sense.
No. He was faced at WrestleMania next year.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Because Stone Cold turned heel the next year at WrestleMania.
Yeah, actually, that's very true. Okay, that makes perfect sense.
I don't think Rock turned heel until 2003 when he went Hollywood.
Yeah, actually, that's a very good point. I feel like I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I thought it was pretty decent, other than the shitty segments and
honestly, there wasn't many segments. There was like the one that was very suggestive, but it was for the time.
Yeah.
And it was alright. It was like whatever. That was passed up as, random adult humor, comedy, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't care. There's a lot of raunchy. It was basically a raunchy comedy in a segment.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is okay. It's like whatever. I could scratch past that. Just don't let your kids watch it. That's all I gotta say. I am serious about that.
Very
don't
true.
let your goddamn kids watch that damn segment. If you're gonna watch that show with your kids, fast forward through that shit. And close your eyes while you're doing it.
I just started chuckling and say, "Oh, good Lord!" Is what I saw this say.
Yo, when I saw that, my eyes went fucking wide. I couldn't stop.
Like literally, your eyes popped out.
What the fuck? I literally mouthed the words, "What the fuck?" as it was happening.
Like, I was like, "Oh," and I think to myself, but yeah, I get it's the 2000s, but what the ass? What?
Like I get it was the attitude there. I get that, but what?
Like literally, like you had the way she held the shirt's like it's not obvious. I was like, oh my god.
I'm like, as a kid, when I was watching that, I was like, as a kid, that probably would have went over my head.
Yeah, I think.
But since I'm an adult and I know shit,
pretty much. I think overall, man, without that, I think there were some decent matches on the card. I mean, it was not a bad show, but just
no. I think people just hated that there was like so many multi-men matches, and I get that, but the problem was this specific WrestleMania called for it.
Yeah.
Sure, they could have had at least one more singles match on the card, but the show wasn't bad.
No, it was not.
I honestly thought the show wasn't that bad. I think people overhate it too much.
Yeah, and the thing is too, like back in the 2000s, like when you jump out the best part that I remember about the 2000s, like when someone jumps off the top rope with a lot of camera flashes, that was the best part of wrestling back in the 2000s.
Yeah, then they ban cameras and shit. Like,
God damn it!
Because of copyright, people.
That's true. Yeah, that's very true.
The internet's more prevalent now. Back in the day, it wasn't really that. Huge.
It was still kind of new.
There wasn't a lot. There wasn't like social media. There wasn't YouTube and shit. Now you got people posting pictures that they took on YouTube and Facebook, so they banned it.
Pretty much, yeah.
Which I get why.
Oh yeah. But
yeah,
overall, man.
But yeah, overall,
not a bad show. I mean, if we just get rid of the goddamn cat,
get rid of the goddamn cat fight, and that would have gotten
That would be the show even a lot better than it should have been. And
I'm gonna give
probably
the show. And judging on that, I'm giving the show an A-. Because of that one gripe, that one match.
Yeah,
that
one. I'm going to give it a B because of that cat fight and the tag match with Cheesy Chester McCheeserton.
I'm gonna give it a B plus for that.
Yeah, because that, like,
let's have a guy dressed up as
a slice of cheese
suit and have him slap his ass the entire time.
That's just like
what?
Honestly, I think probably most people. I think the most underrated wrestler on that roster that time, for me, was Steve Blackman, because it's like, why not have somebody? I mean, despite the fact it's crazy that he does have have a martial arts. At the time though, man, that was like kind of like.
I felt like he could have been an IC champion, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's very.
He could have been a great mid-card champion, but the problem is he slid down the goddamn card.
Yeah,
he became a joke. He became a joke by 2000.
That's like especially pairing up with Al Snow. Like, come on now.
A comedy gimmick in a comedy tag team. That's another wrestler I thought could have been better. Was Al Snow.
It could be at least
but he was too much of a comedy character for years. It was him being infatuated with a fucking head,
a mannequin head,
a freaking mannequin head. Then you had him putting himself to goddamn tables for some fucking reason. He was a crazy motherfucker. And then and then he was in this. What?
I mean,
and then in 2003 he was in a random ass tag team with Coach.
I was like,
what the hell?
Like it does questions like, what the hell? Even back then, like some of the
But if you look at his in-ring work, he has that prowess, and
he's great in the ring. But but then again, I think that was kind of it. I feel like that was his idea. So let's make a comedy game, but I have great skills in the ring to mix with that, which is
he was basically R-Truth before R-Truth.
I was about to say, he was like the attitude era of R-Truth back in.
He was R-Truth before R-Truth existed.
Yeah.
I mean, technically he did exist then, but he was cake with them. But he wasn't a comedy gimmick.
Yeah. And think about this. At least the titles were some of them. At least, thank God, back in the day they didn't have the 24/7 title. Thank fucking God they didn't have. I think, and that's the thing with Steve Blackman too. Like you said, he can be a great IC champion or a hardcore champion, with his martial arts background. Like,
I feel like he was. I think he was hardcore champion once. I think back then.
Honestly, man, that was to. But I mean, other than the big gold,
but him being IC champion would have been more
like a high upper mid card, or
it would have been more prestigious than the hardcore title. The hardcore title was basically the same thing as the 24/7 title, except you could shed blood.
Basically, it's like a low card title.
It's a low card title. It's a low card title. But then again, it's not, because you had guys like Bradshaw winning it, The Undertaker winning it, like
Mankind winning it at one point.
Mankind winning it. So it wasn't really.
I mean, it had some prestige to it, but it was. I just feel like it just lost its popularity at year. I mean, another title
by 2002 it died.
Yeah, I think it also died the same way the light heavyweight championship too, because that was kind of popular back in the day.
Yeah, that title fizzled out. The hardcore title fizzled out in 2002. So I remember it just not existing after like half that year.
It's just like, I mean.
Because it became a Raw exclusive in 2002, and then it just was axed.
Yeah, and think about it this way. I mean, out of that, the only ones that was actually some of the designs changed over time was the tag titles, the IC title every now and again. Obviously, and you have to think too. Back in those days, like there was a lot of titles that they had. Like the World Heavyweight Championship, the tag titles, the light heavyweight, which, in my opinion, I think
they didn't have the light heavyweight when the world heavyweight title was there.
I mean, they did. I remember because Dean Malenko was the very first holder of the light heavyweight championship in the Attitude Era.
Yeah, but they didn't have the world heavyweight title then.
No, not the big gold belt though. But before
that was the WCW title. That's the world heavyweight title.
Well, or the world championship. What was the design at the time?
They had the winged eagle.
Two versions of the winged eagle at the time. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it was the winged. It was the winged eagle until 2002.
Probably one of the most underrated. Probably one of my favorite designs on the world championship of all time.
Yeah, that was one of the best designs. I like that one and the one from 2002 to 2005.
Yeah, that's true as well. Oh
And
yeah,
then
the or what they call the Undisputed World Championship.
yep.
God,
No, from 2000, that was 2001 to 2005. Excuse me.
yeah. Before
Because
John Cena had,
Jericho was the first champion.
yeah.
Because he unified the WCW title and the
Oh yeah,
killing off the WCW title.
yeah. And then I think for me when I grew up in the Attitude Era, the one title that really didn't make sense was the European title. It's like, huh? That was the one title that did not make
You had
sense.
an American win it. What the fuck?
It's like, why do you call it the European title for a fuck? There was no reason for that.
You had Kurt Angle win it. Like, huh?
Like,
You
let's
could have
say
had a European division of European wrestlers, but you had Kurt Angle winning it.
I mean, like, say you get let's say, let's see, Jerry wasn't irrelevant in the Attitude Era. That was more of the ruthless aggression.
Jerry was relevant, but he was more of a comedy.
Yeah,
Remember, remember when fucking Chris Jericho pissed in fucking William Regal's tea?
oh my god.
I don't know, and Tajiri was involved too.
I was like, and look, you got to think too, like, and look, we all said, I mean, look, I know, and there's some times that we saw, like, even in WrestleMania 16, which now think about it, it's like, good lord, man. You got to think too, like, wrestling has changed a little over the last 2 decades. So, I mean, seeing a lot of shit.
If any of the shit that happened in the Attitude Era happened today,
it's not going to fly.
WWE would get canceled immediately.
Yeah, because it's
like, holy shit.
Yeah. Well, especially for that segment, anyways.
That one segment was like,
oh my god,
that would get fucking burned to the fucking grave.
And the fact that she held it like this, like, it's like,
she held it like this, and she had it down.
I was like, oh my god, did they just?
And the cat was there in the middle. I'm like, yeah, that was a sex joke.
Yep,
that was a sexual joke.
But then again, you got to think too, that's right too. Like the late '90s, early 2000s, were that actually were
balls to the wall, crazy
edginess,
sexually suggestive shit mixed with the wrestling. I'm like,
yeah. And
I thought 2003 to 2008 was edgy. That was worse.
The Attitude Era had it all. But overall, man, look, I mean, even back then, man, the wrestlers back then were pretty awesome to see growing up. I mean, obviously, like my buddy Tyler said, that was his first match seeing actually China wrestle.
Yeah, and I was shocked. I didn't see her wrestle. I saw clips. I didn't really see her wrestle in a full match.
And if she was still alive today, she'll still kill it.
And yeah, I did, watch TNA in 2011, but I didn't see her wrestle then either. Like, I stopped watching after a little bit before she even debuted in TNA in 2011.
I forgot. I even forgot. That was one.
She had like a one match at a pay-per-view, and
well, I mean, all in all, man, like Steve Blackman, I actually enjoy watching because who likes to see like a wrestler that's as a real life martial artist at the same time? I mean, I
wonder what he's doing now.
Yeah, that gets you thinking, like, what the hell is he doing over the last 2 decades?
I really don't know.
If he's still wrestling, I'll be still goddamn impressed.
I don't think he's wrestling because he's not on. I think he's doing other shit, but I don't know what he's doing exactly. So if you guys know what he's doing exactly,
like you're seeing like these older wrestlers, like especially from the 80s, like the 70s and the 80s, like, oh god, this old tag team Demolition, they're still wrestling I think they're in their 70s.
You have Rock and Roll Express still going. I'm like,
I mean, I like, it's like, huh?
Like they even wrestled on AWTV. I'm like,
it's like, hey, look,
fucking win. But yeah, that was our thorough review of WrestleMania 2000. I almost said WrestleMania 20. That's 4 years away, Tyler. 4 years away from this.
Yeah, so he retired. So Steve Blackman did retire in 2007, December 10th, 2007.
Oh, so he was probably working indie shows until 2007.
Yeah. Holy shit,
Um,
it's almost 60. Christ. But yeah, so I really hope you guys enjoy, our little wrestling. Well, because we're doing more WrestleManias too later down the line.
yeah, I'll probably do WrestleMania X7 next.
It's
Go
basically
up from
17.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
they call it X7 because it's X.
So, yeah, which for me, I feel like it's still kind of dumb though, but it is what it is. Um, that's all I got right now.
Yeah, I think it was kind of dumb to like you could have really fully commit on the Roman numeral, but you just a half-assed X. Oh, okay, whatever. We're just gonna put a 7.
Yeah, and I think it goes. Yeah, well, we'll talk more about that. Hopefully
Yeah,
next week,
if we don't forget.
because we're gonna have to write this shit down because my and obviously because our brain sometimes doesn't work. But overall, um, I got nothing to add to that.
I got nothing either. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Like and subscribe if you liked it. And if you like any of our videos, like those.
And hopefully try to get the sports podcast channel to 260 subscribers by the end of hopefully before the end of the year. That's our main goal.
Let's get this channel.
Yeah, like
it's
and
real to
help
me
it.
to 30. Let's get it to 30.
Yeah, and that's another
Because
because it's like what the hell.
we're close. We're like 3 away from it.
Yeah. And look, if you guys like what we produce here on the It's Real to Me channel and the Philly Sports Talk podcast channel as well, like you said, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share these out to a lot of other people. Means a lot to all of us.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, the fact that we're getting close to 30 here on the It's Real to Me channel is a huge
amazing, though. It's amazing. I didn't expect to get close to even remotely close to 30. I was expecting when I was doing this maybe 10, 15. No, we've almost gotten 30.
Well, it's also that too. We also been making videos at the same time.
Yeah, we're making. Yeah, that's the reason why we're doing this. We're doing this for you guys, and we're grinding.
And the fact that you guys are still watching our reactions to Jay Lethal signing with All Elite Wrestling, the fact that you guys
we blew that. You guys blew that up.
You guys blew that out of the water.
You guys blew that up like crazy. Like that shit's selling like goddamn hotcakes at this point.
But all in all, like we said, we hope you enjoyed the content. I mean, I know me and Tyler can be awkward at times, but that's kind of the charm in it, though. And
yeah, but here's the thing, Rob. We're not as awkward as we were.
Yeah, that's very true, though.
We've actually grown a lot better,
especially how we speak, though, and how we present ourselves.
Us speaking is we've gotten better. We've talked with a lot more emotion. So we promise if there's any more gripes,
let us know in the comments down below.
Games, let us know in the comments. Let us know,
or hit us up on social media.
DM me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I don't care.
We're open to suggestions, like I mean, pretty much anything. But other than that, I mean, even on that too, and but yeah, I mean, I really got nothing. Huge shout out to Nightings, who kind of was in the chat for a little bit. Yep. Overall, I mean, we don't want to keep you guys too long. With that being said, this is Robert and Tyler from the It's Real podcast channel and the Philly Sports Talk podcast channel as well. We are out of here.
Peace.